very much for the invitation for the university, Professor Ivor Griffith, and welcome and thank you very much, and Honourable Professor. And also great thank you for the staff and the people I met today at the university, all the professors and the doctors and the students and faculty members. So a little bit about myself. I think everyone's got one of these. Yes. So, and you can see in my very nice picture I think they chose. I like it. I think that really captures my personality. And sorry, is that too much? Okay. Sorry. I'm aware that I have 10 minutes, I'm going to start. So within this 10 minutes, I'm going to do a very brief overview. Now, actually, some of the talk has been picked up from the Minister, so I'm not going to go into too much details on that section, so that really cuts off another couple of minutes, so now I think I'll be right on time. So, I was going to start off with what are communicable diseases, or non-communicable diseases, and because my background is public health, I'm going to talk very much from a public health practitioner's perspective of how you deal with some of these issues facing communities and societies around non-communicable diseases. Now, first of all, what are they? So, in a way, non-communicable diseases are those diseases that do not pass from person to person, like communicable diseases, like measles, for example. So, they are long-lasting and they're costly to treat, as we've just heard, and to manage, and they're the major cause of inequalities in communities and societies and populations. And as pointed out, we all know what they are by now, because if you were listening, they were cardiovascular disease, diabetes, obesity, cancer, chronic respiratory disease, and one that I think a lot of people do not talk about is mental health. And I think that is one that sometimes we need to bring into the discussion around non-communicable diseases. And we cannot forget the impact of poverty and inequalities. And this again is something that was raised by the previous two speakers. And these are something that we need to also address and think about when we're looking at interventions around non-communicable disease. So I'm going to move on to the impact, and we've heard a bit about the impact, and we know that in all regions of the world, the total numbers of NCDs are rising because of population aging and the globalization of risks, particularly around tobacco use. Now, when I say globalization of risks, I mean the changing transitions around demography and epidemiological transitions as populations in low and middle income countries start to change. You're starting to get an older population, and in terms of how you start to think around the way you're going to respond to the changing natures of your demography is quite important to think about in terms of prevention, which is I will move on to in the next section of my talk. As the prevalence and impact of the disease continue to grow, they threaten the health and well-being and economic success of countries, which is again something that was already pointed out, and it particularly impacts on productivity, because if you have an unhealthy population, then you have people who are not able to work, and productivity is impacted on, as well as the cost of treating and managing those diseases. So, now it's quite unusual for me, of being a public health person, not to have a PowerPoint presentation with a wonderful array of many, many charts. So you'll be pleased to know that you're only going to listen to me talk in my dulcet tones. So it's not possible, though, to talk about public health or to have public health in the title without a definition or two. So, indulge me, I'm going to give you a few. So, the definition of public health. I don't know if there's anyone here who is public health, who's done a master's in public health. Just show of hands. Anybody? Okay. Okay, great. So, and it'd be etched into your memory, won't it, the definition of public health? I see nodding, yes. I shall recite it for you. So public health is the art The science and art of preventing disease, prolonging life, promoting health through the organized efforts and informed choices of society, organizations, public and private communities and individuals. And for me, the two important things are about the organized efforts and informed choice. Those are very key concepts, I think, and key values within public health. And public health is concerned about the total system, the whole system. It's about a whole system approach. And I think that's really necessary when you start to think about public health and about prevention and the interventions you might want to take up as a country and a government. And sometimes the focus, and I think is an easy focus, we have this in the UK, is to focus on strengthening your healthcare system and putting more money into healthcare. But actually, where sometimes money needs to be spent is around the prevention. So we come on to the second definition of prevention. And these are the actions aimed at eradication, eliminating, or minimizing the impact of disease and disability. And the concept of prevention is best defined in the context of the levels of prevention. And when you're within public health, they are the keystones of interventions as primary, secondary, tertiary prevention. These are the levels. But there's actually a fourth one, the primordial prevention, which is the one that happens long before the risks are within your community. To me, that is the ideal. That's your utopia of a society, that there are no risks and people are all healthy. How do you get that? I think it's a life course approach where you're thinking what happens before someone is even born. This is pre-pregnancy interventions about societies making sure that the children and the education, they're at a stage where they can grow. So in the ideal world, children will grow up and be physically active, won't take up alcohol, won't smoke, be long and healthy, prosperous lives. So that is what you're aiming for. So the second one, the second one, primary prevention. Normally in the traditional, that would be the first, but now it is the second in my four. Primary prevention can be defined as the action taken prior to the onset of disease. So it tends to be health promotion programs, environmental modifications, health education, nutritional interventions, lifestyle and behavior changes. So those are all those programs that will focus on those. So when you're developing your strategies around prevention, those would be the kind of ones that would come under the banner of primary. And then there's specific protection interventions that come under this banner, which is immunization, the immunization program, again, making sure that you eradicate certain diseases, polio, measles in particular. I did notice when I did look at the figures, I thought I said I wouldn't look at figures, but I wouldn't say how much, but I did notice that your immunization figures were below what you would want to have what we call herd immunity, to make sure that diseases are not carried on through there was a series, because in low middle income countries like I am, there's the issue of the dual burden caused by non-communicable and communicable diseases, those costs, and they do interact. There's an interaction between the two. So I'm going into public health terms. I'll move on. Secondary prevention. And this is defined as the action that halts the progress of disease at its initial stage and prevents complications. The example I can give of this is diabetes. So diabetes screening, what you have someone who's diagnosed with diabetes, and what you want to do is make sure they don't go blind. So you'd have retinopathy screening programs and making sure that the disease doesn't progress. My goodness, right, I'm going to fly through this. Sorry. Right, tertiary, and this is when you get to hospitals, and this is about reducing the limitations. I'm not going to talk about control because I haven't got enough time, but what I'll conclude to talk about is according to Beaglehole. Now, Beaglehole is a researcher who publishes quite widely about public health. And one of the things he thinks is important to think about is how you look at public health interventions, and he looks at it at the population policy and implementation research, were the key issues or key approaches you should think about. And when it comes to curbing them, you should be focusing on financing and assisting in population policy and implementation research approaches. This is where I think the university comes in about how do you work with government to try and bridge that gap, to bring evidence into practice and then taking that and putting that into policy. And these are the activities that including studying population factors like lifestyle, demographic issues, demographic change, epidemiological transition, and the impact of and the burden of disease, keeping monitoring and surveillance, and that's very important. Policies, looking at developing policies around legislations around tobacco, control, sugar tax, and sugary drinks. And those are really important key things to think about. And again, how do the academic community here support those endeavours? And then also looking at delivering systems that work best for scaling up interventions for low-income countries. Some of the dangers are that you can see interventions or programs happening abroad that you then decide you need to take up. And I'm going to go. Thank you very much.